Shop vlog number 2. Here goes it. So it is Sunday morning, and I had a pretty busy week last week. I also have a pretty busy week this week, and I decided to start this storm window job. And so it is Sunday, and I'm out in the shop getting ready to bust that window apart at a family party thing yesterday, so I unloaded my truck and now I have a mess in the shop. But whatever, it is what it is. So I have this awesome window. They're pretty cool. They got a lot of little detail. I don't know if you can kind of see, like, that's a little wood detail to hold the storm window in. They're actually pretty neat. And what had happened was the homeowner got my number from another guy who's really busy right now, and in this corner, yeah, you can see it's, sorry about that, it's not happy, a lot of rot, goes up the stile a little ways, and yeah, it's not bad. But anyway, the whole house has wood windows, and they want to preserve the windows, so we're gonna pull this thing apart, build 2 new pieces for it, and stick it all back together, put some paint on it, and bring it back up to her, and let her have her storm window back. So, pretty excited about this. I'm gonna try and find a place, not entirely sure where yet, where I can set up a time lapse, and I'll just kind of time lapse pulling the windows apart. I have no idea how they get pulled apart yet, so it's kind of one of those dive into it and figure it out as you go things. So I'll start disassembling, and if I can get it disassembled and get some kind of sort of rough measurements on what the overall is, then I'll be able to put it back together. So let's jump into it. Here we go. So that is the start of the disassembly. Just wanted to take a quick minute. This was one of the lower corners, and as you can see, there's not a whole lot left. This is like, I don't know, it's a really cool window, and it's actually got these pieces. I don't know if you can see them. They're like really thin, and they actually hold the window in the frame, which is kind of neat. So it'll be fun milling the new ones, but that's how that works. And then I stopped the video because I need to make a phone call to the customer, because this is the bottom rail, and as you can see, one side where it mated with the side I just showed you was completely gone, but turns out the other side is not in much better shape. So unfortunately, this is why I told the customer, as I said, I have no idea what's going on the inside of the window until I take it apart. And if there's more rot repair to be had, then I need to take the time to do it. So unfortunately, what that means is out of this entire window, as you can see, the top rail here is actually in really good shape, and the tenon is definitely reusable. Unfortunately, the other three pieces out of 4 to do the window are all shot. So it looked like this one was going to be 2 pieces and the other window was going to be 1 piece. Now I'm starting to think maybe both of them are going to end up being 3 pieces to rebuild, which is going to increase the price slightly, but hopefully not too much. So yeah, that's that. The little trick that I did there is distilled white vinegar. It actually softens wood glue, so by putting that in the bridle joints on the corners, that actually softens the glue and allows me to get them out. The key point to it is it takes a little bit of time. So you can't just expect to drop, and then the whole thing falls apart. Especially if you're trying to do like cabinet style and rails that have been indoors and have had 0 water contact in their entire lives. If you really think about, okay, so if your kitchen sink splashes a little bit, it is what it is, but these are storm windows, so they've seen a lot of water, which also softens the wood, which helps soften the wood glue faster. But if you're going to work on wood from like an interior cabinet that has never seen water, the trick is time. So what I did was I put a 1/16 inch drill bit in the drill, and I drilled several holes on either side of the tenon on the bridles and the corners, and then took that little dropper that you saw and put little drops to fill those holes up, and then it gets in and it softens the wood glue and allows you to pull it apart. Then I just went back with my chisel, cleaned up the wood glue, and where I had kind of eaten into the wood a little bit, got all that cleaned up, and took the sander to it real quick just to dry everything off, and that was that. So pretty easy disassembly, I'd say. Like I said, I stopped the video. I'm going to make a phone call out to the customer and let them know that it's going to take just a smidge more work. So it is what it is, though. If you want nice things, if you want to protect the integrity of your home, then sometimes you got to make some of these sacrifices, and the cost on my end will go up a little bit, so the cost reflected to the customer goes up a little bit, but to protect the integrity and the character in her old house, I think this is probably the best way to do it. So I will continue on after I make my phone call. Stay tuned.